We don't wait for the cavity. So why wait for your pet?
Welcome to Unleash Curiosity by Vital Pet Life.
I'm Dr. Amber De Silva, veterinarian and advocate for integrative pet care.
And I'm Donie Yamamoto, founder and CEO of Vital Pet Life. We're so glad you're here.
This is a space where curiosity, compassion, and science converge, where we explore the powerful mind-body connection that supports your pet's health and your own.
Each week, we'll dive deep into the world of pet wellness, breaking down myths, exploring ingredients, and learning from expert voices across the industry.
From nutrition and sustainability to transparency and advocacy, we're here to help you feel more confident, connected, and informed in your care choices.
Let's get into it, because when we know better, we do better. This is Unleash Curiosity. Welcome back to Unleash Curiosity, the show where we dig into the science, stories, and straight talk about pet health. I'm your host, Donie Yamamoto, and with me is my co-host, Dr. Amber. Today, we're going to deep dive on pet supplements. What's real? What's the noise? And what actually moves the needle for the animals we love? The category is growing fast, but growth and quality aren't the same thing. So we're going to separate those two today.
Always glad to dig into this one. And you're right. This is a conversation a lot of pet parents are ready for.
Pet supplements are being driven by something bigger than marketing. Proactive health, human wellness habits, and daily routines. What are you seeing on the clinical side that reflects that shift?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of owners that are coming in already having done research. They're asking about daily support, about what they can do before there's a problem and not just after. So the conversation used to start when something was visibly wrong. And now it's starting with, what can I do today to keep my dog as healthy as possible for as long as possible? And that's the kind of question I love getting in an exam room.
Yeah, that's great. And therefore, you're seeing supplements move from being used occasionally to being a daily habit. And that is a meaningful shift. For my two dogs, supplements are a morning ritual, part of their feeding schedule.
Yeah. And I think that comes from humans taking their vitamins every day, their probiotics, but also just with education, knowing that a supplement has to be given on a regular basis and not just every once in a while.
Exactly. Well, pet wellness isn't all that different from human wellness anyway. I mean, probiotics, omega supplements, collagen. I mean, we don't wait until we're sick and then we decide to take supplements. Now, society is seeing that logic and now is shifting to pets. So we're humanizing our pets and we get to use that phrase a lot. And, Dr. Amber, I just want to know if that's accurate or does that undersell what's actually happening?
I mean, I think it's accurate, but it is kind of a loaded phrase. It sometimes gets used dismissively, like pet owners are being irrational. And I don't think that's really fair. I think what's actually happening is that people are extending the same care and intention that they apply to their own health, to their animal's health. Physiologically, it makes a lot of sense. The research on gut health and omega fatty acids and joint support has direct animal science parallels. So when I see an owner carefully reading labels and asking about ingredient sourcing, I don't think it's irrational. They're just paying more attention. They're paying good attention to what they're giving their pets.
But can you connect to prevention versus treatment? Like the vet visit historically happens after something went wrong, right? Or we go there to be treated. I mean, how do you feel about early intervention clinically?
I mean, I'm a strong believer in it. I think with precision in the language. So we're not talking about supplements replacing veterinary care or treating diagnosed conditions. That's not the claim, and it shouldn't be. But what we're talking about is nutritional support for normal, healthy function over time. So the analogy that we can use with clients is dental care. So for us, we don't wait till we have a cavity to start brushing our teeth. You build that habit of brushing and flossing every day because that consistent care leads to better outcomes over time. And so the daily nutritional support for joint function, digestive health, skin and coat works the same way. The earlier you start, the more runway you have, the more prevention you can give to your pet.
I love that framing. And I love the runway argument.
Yeah. And with gut health specifically, which is having a real moment right now, we're learning that the microbiome influences far more than just digestion. I think it's easy to see why it would help digestion, but we're also making connections to the immune system, skin health, and there's more and more research building all the time. But the clinical signals are meaningful, and an owner who's already proactively supporting gut health is building the kind of foundation that pays off over time, even if it doesn't look dramatic day to day.
Yeah. Well, let's get into innovation. I mean, there's a lot of happening in this segment, and not a lot of these products are considered equal. Three drivers, I think, are genuinely moving the needle, which is formulation.
Yeah. This is where the real work is happening and also where the most corners are being cut. So, real formulation starts with what does this ingredient actually do? What's the correct dose? What species? Is there data behind this ingredient? And the shift that I want to see and that we're starting to see from more credible brands is away from a marketing first formulation where you start with the concept that sounds good and you build a label around it. But the science backed on the label should mean that there's peer reviewed research on that specific ingredient. At a relevant dose in the relevant species. And ideally, it's independent from the manufacturer. So you're getting third party verification and testing that ingredient is what it says it is, what's in the bottle is on the label, that they match. So red flags in this area would be proprietary blends or undisclosed amounts or claims based on human research that are not validated in animals. And green flags would be that the manufacturer discloses the amounts, they name the sources and brands that you can point to in actual studies. So just, one example that I came across recently is I was formulating a diet for a patient and looking for iodine specifically. Iodine is a trace mineral, all pets need it. So iodine is like the three bears ingredient. You don't want too much, you don't want too little, you want it to be just right. And I found, I was looking on Amazon, I found a ton that were labeled, iodine supplement for dogs. And probably more than half of what I found, actually, probably, yeah, like most of them didn't even list the amount that was in their supplement, or it was written in a really confusing way, or, it was just like give one scoop, but you couldn't even calculate how much iodine was in one scoop, And so you just need the more information that they're providing you on the label, the better that you can get the best, the right amounts. And so that's just one example from recent experience.
So the second driver, and I think this is the most underrated one, is format, or how the ingredient of the supplement is being delivered. Some supplements needed another ingredient to really have the potential of their benefits to the animal.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Dr. Amber?
Yeah, I think that's, super important is to know, if I give this ingredient, but it doesn't have this other cofactor, it's not going to be absorbed properly. So just one example that everybody knows about is milk. You'll see milk fortified with vitamin D. It's because that calcium in the milk can't be properly absorbed without vitamin D. So that's just one quick example. The other thing that plays into this is owner compliance, and that is the invisible factor in every supplement conversation. So if you have the best formula in the world, it's useless if the animal won't take it or the owner doesn't give it consistently. So when a format, the delivery system fits naturally into an existing routine, so like a chew that feels like a treat or a liquid on their food, owners will stick with it. And that's when you see results. And then for cats, especially, finding the right formula, the right format is half the battle because cats can be a lot more finicky than dogs.
Yeah. Soft chews, liquid, stoppers, soft gels, each one is a different behavior, or not just behavior, but a different format, right? And,
Right.
it has yeah. Anyway, the third driver for me is transparency and trust. And Here, I think the consumer has actually outpaced the industry.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely see a lot of owners who are reading labels, they're Googling ingredient names, they're coming to the appointments with follow up questions, and they're setting the bar really high for trust. It's higher than it's ever been. So, a brand that can't tell you where its ingredients come from is going to be scrutinized. You know, certifications matter, third party testing matters. The brands that earn the trust right now are the ones that are treating the pet owner as a smart adult who deserves real information.
Yeah. Okay, hot take time. What consistently frustrate you when you look into this segment?
I think the first one is overcomplicating things. You get the formulas that are like everything plus the kitchen sink, and they have 20 or 30 ingredients on the label and all of these claims. And, I think the truth is that fewer, better dosed ingredients, or, being really intentional about what you put in the supplement is going to outperform the crowd. So it's not really that impressive now to have a long list of things. It's more impressive to have the right ones at the right amounts. The other thing is, being opaque about the dosing, like products where the serving size math doesn't really work out. The ingredients sound great, but the amount per serving is maybe a fraction of what the research shows to be functional. So you may be giving the supplement that you think is going to help, but if it's not at the right doses, if it's a lower dose than what's actually shown to be effective, then, you may not see a difference in your pet. And that's a trust issue. And it's more common than people realize. I think, people buy supplements because they care about their pets and they want to do what's best. But that could be hard to know which one is trustworthy. I think also the third one is the gap between what the marketing says and what I observe in the exam room. The brands that I respect are the ones that manage the expectations honestly, because when a pet parent sees real results from a product that did exactly what it said it would, that builds a trust and a relationship there. And then that person will tell other pet owners. And then, that's the best marketing. I mean, I've talked to plenty of clients who, maybe their dog comes in and they've got some signs, the owners are concerned that their dog might have arthritis and they've already started him on a hip and joint, or maybe a fish oil or omega supplement or something like that. And the owner's like, well, I'm not really seeing a difference. And so, we have that conversation about, well, which one are you giving? How often are you giving it? So I think that, not all products out there are created equally.
Yeah, so what product you think is really good, like, to be competitive? Like, do you have like a framework that you can share?
Yeah. I mean, we've already mentioned like the third party testing, the transparency in sourcing of ingredients, dosing of ingredients, and that those are really, really important. I feel like the more information on the label, the better. We've talked about this in a previous episode about pet food. There's kind of a minimum that you have to have on labels, and it's not much. And so those companies that volunteer more information and put that on their label, I feel like they're really trying to be more transparent. And so those are the ones that I'm more likely to gravitate towards.
Yeah, I think simplicity with transparency really does beat the complexity of like choosing the supplements or right supplements that you can give, or even for you as us humans are taking it, you still have to check everything. And the more you
Right.
understand what's in it, like, yeah, just like how we have all the certifications with the oils, and we really make sure, like, we don't want to, what's this, hide anything from the consumers. Because as we said, like, I mean, we are consumers ourselves, and that's how we really wanted to see, like, yeah, as what you said, like a relationship, a partnership with a brand. And yeah, that's how it's kind of relevant to Vital Pet Life.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when customers buy Vital Pet Life products, you know that they love their pets. They want to do the best thing for them. They're trusting us with that. They're spending their hard-earned money on a product. And so you want to make sure, like we want to make sure that we're putting the best thing we can in that bottle and being 100% transparent about what it is and what it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to think like, I mean, we really try to not just educate, but at the same time, really put it out there, like, how we meticulously, I mean, Dr. Amber and I, we really saw how the oil was handled from, before it's being bottled, how being, the cleaning air, like everything yeah, it's everything that we have to really like do the right things for our consumers, for the little guys
Right.
or pets. Anyway, so quick
Yeah.
for before we wrap up. Where is this segment actually headed, Dr. Amber?
Three things that we're watching. One is personalization. So, supplements that are tailored to a specific animal's breed, age, health status, not just a one size fits all. And, I think the data is getting close. We're getting close to doing that in the supplement space. The other thing would be the microbiome. I mean, this is just cutting edge stuff. We're just, I think, finding so much about with the research that we're doing and how important the microbiome is for so many different things, not just gut health. And we're just, I feel like we're still at the beginning of understanding how that microbiome influences systemic health in companion animals. And I expect to see much more targeted probiotic formulations with real strain level evidence as that research continues. And the other thing is stronger regulatory accountability. There's been a lot of wiggle room in what can be claimed and how. And I think the category is moving more toward more precision and accountability. And I think that's a really great thing especially for brands that are already doing good, honest work.
Yeah, I like precision and accountability, and I like that direction. I mean, the future isn't just more supplements, right? It's better ones. And I feel like the humanization of pets is really everything that we're learning from for our health is really stepping to the direction of our companion animals too.
Right, exactly. And for any pet parent listening, the goal isn't to find the most supplements, it's to find the right ones, be consistent, use them as a part of your daily routine and a broader relationship with your vet and your animal's health. So, supplements are a tool, and when they are used well, they are a really valuable one.
Yeah. I mean, the right ones consistently as part of a system. It's not just an afterthought or a habit. I mean, oh, I forgot. I'm going to give it today. And I forgot 2 days ago. I mean, Dr. Amber, as always, like this is, exactly the kind of conversation that we wanted to put out to our consumers and also to our listeners.
Yeah, always. This is the kind of conversation that pet parents need more of.
Yeah. So to everyone listening, thanks for tuning in to Unleash Curiosity. If the episode got you thinking differently about your pet's daily health routine, share it with a fellow pet parent. And until next time, stay curious.